Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Renewed Mind Revolution podcast with your host, Michelle Kakal. Listen, today is going to be a great day. Can you say that with me? Regardless to how your day started, regardless to what you had to go to get to this very moment, can you just open up your mouth and say, today is going to be a great day? Listen, I know that you've had challenges. I know that you've had moments, what we call life moments here on Renewed Mind Revolution podcast. I know you've had plenty. You know how I know? Because I've had them too. I'm right there with you. So I understand that you've had life moments. I know that you've had challenges, but guess what? You are an overcomer. You are here. You are breathing. You are standing. You are being the victorious person that you were created and designed to be. Today, I want to just reflect on how great you have been, how strong you have been despite every obstacle, everything that was thrown at you to tear you down, everything that was pushed at you to knock you off, everything that was said to you to tear down your integrity and your character and your pride and your confidence, everything that was put on you that you didn't ask for, that you didn't want, but you carried it. You might have bent over. You might have sore and bruised shoulders. You might have wounds to show your struggle and your pain, but you are here. You are here. You are so strong, and I am so proud of you today. And today, I just wanted to celebrate you. And as usual, we talk about tips and tools that will help you to become a better you. Listen, guys, I want to share some information with you. You know, I talk all the time about clicking the reset button, starting all over again, becoming a better you. Well, I try to lead by example. I try to show you that it's never too late. I haven't been in school in over 20 years. I graduated with my bachelor's degree back in 1997. And I am now enrolled in school to get my master's in divinity. I'm studying pastoral studies. So I'm just showing you that it does not matter how long you've been in any situation, and it's never too late. I really try to emphasize that to you guys, and because I've done that over and over and over again, I want to make sure that I show you that I'm not just talking it, but I'm trying to walk it. I'm trying to show you that it is so possible for you to come from some of the lowest moments in your life and some of the toughest times in your life and places that you never thought you would be. And what's amazing is that what you have been through, you know, you can look at somebody else's life and they'll say, which has been told to me, oh my God, I've never experienced anything like that. So that even further lets you know how strong you are. And like I shared with someone this week, you never know how strong you are unless it's being tested, unless your strength is being tested. And sometimes we think that we're weak. We think that we are vulnerable. We think that we can't handle things. We think that, you know, it's overwhelming us. It's taking a toll on us. But the reality of it is that you are stronger than what you think. You are stronger than what you believe. And if no one else can pat you on the back and encourage you, you have to learn to encourage yourself. You have to learn to speak over yourself the right things, the positive things, the good things. We are so used to speaking negative over our lives and over our future and over our destiny based upon things that we've experienced thus far in life. But I want to encourage you to speak life and healing and restoration to your future. To your future. Don't give up on your future. You know, right now we're living in a time where people have found it very difficult to see a future. And that is so frightening, so scary to be around individuals who fail to see a future. Those are dangerous people. Those are dangerous people because when we don't see our future, we don't appreciate this moment. And then we make horrible decisions that can affect those around us as well as ourselves. So appreciate this moment that you're in and begin to speak over your future. Speak over your life and declare and decree who you are, whose you are, your potential, greatness, whatever it is that you desire, whatever your passion is, whatever it is that you think about, doing that makes you feel like this is where I belong, this is what I should be doing. And that's what you should be speaking over your life and over your future. So, for example, if you want to be an entrepreneur and open a business, you should be speaking that into your future. You should be telling yourself, I see myself opening this business. I see myself purchasing this particular property, opening up the doors, having a ceremony of a new beginning. I see myself with employees. I see myself, teaching my staff. And see yourself in the future. Speak over your future. And so today I'm elated. I'm elated because I choose to be elated. I'm happy because I'm choosing to be happy. It's not necessarily the moment that causes me to be contented or happy. It doesn't matter what the environment is. That does not dictate my contentment or my happiness. It's the position of my heart. It's the position of my heart today. And I want to talk to you and teach you about that. The position of our hearts. Making sure that we're not allowing situations and circumstances to determine how we behave, to determine our outlook on life. There's so much negativity, there's so much doom and gloom that it really can cloud your perception. So I want to make sure that we're not allowing that to cloud our perception. Who I am is not determined by what others see. It's about what God has placed into me. It's how I see myself. So I don't want you to get wrapped up into what's going on right now and feel overwhelmed, feel lost, feel defeated, feel broken. Come on. I don't want you to feel that. I want you to not get caught into your feelings, but I want you to get caught up into your integrity, caught up into who God has called you to be, the strength that I know that you have, the power that I know that you have, the authority that I'm praying that you begin to use and exercise in your life. I want you to look at something in your life that you have placed to the side for 10 years. And I want you to go to that thing and I want you to begin to work on it. Whatever it is. If it's a struggle that you have been dealing with for 10 years and you have told yourself over and over again, I'm going to let this go. But you have failed over and over and over again. And this struggle has been just hovering over your head and bringing about guilt and shame. I want you to today to look at that struggle and use and exercise the authority and the power that you have in you. And I want you to begin to speak to that and begin to declare your freedom from it. Your freedom. Because whom the Son has set free is free indeed. I'm not saying that these are walks in the park, they're easy and all that, but what I'm saying to you that it is possible. And when there is a possibility, then what else can we do but begin to work towards that? You know, when there is hope, then there is excitement. There is a possibility. We get excited when we know that there is a possibility, that there is hope. We know that the word tells us that weeping may endure for the night, but joy will come in the morning. That's a possibility. That's excitement. That's my hope, that I can go through a whole lot of moments that feel awful and dark and hurtful and painful and sad and overwhelming. But he promises me that this time it's very limited. It will not be forever. And I don't know about you, but one of the ways that I work my life and work out things for me is I always understand that if I have to deal with this for a couple of years, a couple of months, a couple of hours, whatever it is, I have that ending date to it, that ending moment to it. But I know there's a possibility that there's a break to it. Even when you're a pregnant woman, you know that you're only going to carry that baby for so long, and then eventually you're going to give birth. That's your cutoff. That's your time. That's that hope. That's that possibility that if you're suffering during a certain time, it will not be forever. It's going to end. It's going to get better. That is the hope of glory. That is the hope of glory. It's like, it's not going to be forever. It's not going to last forever. No matter what we see even right now that we are facing together as a community globally, you have to understand it will not last forever. Now, will there be changes? Absolutely. Will there be adjustments? Absolutely. But will it be this way forever? No, it will not. There's always a limit. There's always a time frame for things. And we have to learn that while we are in the midst of this, while we're in the midst of our struggles, while we're in the midst of our storms, while we're in the midst of our anguish and our hurt and our pain, and while we are crying out, and while we are standing, and while we're believing still in the midst of it, we have to believe that in the middle of it, we are still to give a great shout. We are still to give a great shout of praise, a great shout of rejoicing and celebration, because we know that it does not last forever. I love a message that I heard many years ago. It says, don't wait till the battle is over. I want you to shout now. And so I think about that when I'm going through a trauma, when I'm going through a struggle, when I'm going through a hard time, when I'm going through a pain. I remind myself that I don't have to wait till I am feeling better. I don't have to wait till my situation changes. I don't have to wait for things to begin to shift, but I can shout. I can give a cry of victory in the midst of it. And that's what I want you to do today. I want you to give a great shout in the midst of it all. Listen, I come to encourage you today. I come to talk to you today just to see how you're feeling and how you're doing. Today, I really want to focus on something, and I want to talk specifically about balance. I won't be before you very long talking about this, but I want to talk about the balance of life. The balance of life. I want to talk about that today because I sat here, as I always do before I come to you guys, and I say, what is it that we need to share today? What is it that we need to talk about? What is it? And it was just as clear as day. Lord, teach me how to balance life. Come on, teach me how to balance life. And I say that because when you have so much going on in your life, and you got so many pulls on you, you're being pulled this way, you're being pulled that way, you're being pulled to do this, and you're being pulled to do that. You have to have a balance in your life, because if you do not have a balance, you can become overwhelmed. You can become overexert yourself and worn out. And I have talked so many times before about when you have depleted yourself and no longer have any energy for the things that you should be giving your energy to, because you have completely giving yourself out to everybody else. What is one of my teachings? You cannot go around putting out everybody else's fire, and then you have a fire and you have no resources or energy left for your own. So we have to always find a balance. And during these times, during these moments that we're facing right now, finding a balance seems to be very hard to do, especially if you think about parents who are now having to work from home and monitor their children who also are working from home. And let me tell you, even as a parent dealing with a child who works from home, they are finding challenges themselves. We as an adult have to adjust to working from home. In my case, also doing schoolwork from home, and then I have my last child is at home, and she's experiencing her freshman year of high school, which is supposed to have been exciting for her, but she finds herself now at home. So just facing that was difficult and challenging as she expressed all of her emotions about now having to be at home during the time that she really, really wanted to be amongst her classmates. And so now she has to readjust all of that, and we find it hard. So let's think about what our young people are experiencing and how they are feeling during all these transitions. So let's be mindful of that. So parents also are experiencing a lot of changes, a lot of pulling, a lot of being pressed on every side, right? So we have to find a balance. And I want you to be very intentional about finding your balance, making sure that you're not allowing yourself to feel overwhelmed, especially for long periods of time. Speak up and say when you're feeling a certain way, because if we don't, we'll find ourselves kind of snapping out on those around us because we are feeling overwhelmed. And that's just the reality of it. A lot of times people do not understand what parents go through and mothers go through, fathers go through, who are responsible for your children. And it's a great responsibility. I have had the blessing of raising 3 beautiful kids, and my oldest is he's an adult now, and my middle child is now officially heading towards that. He's an 18-year-old now. He's done with high school, and he's preparing himself for the next chapter in his life. So I have this younger one who is still home and who is still in school. And so working with her during this time as a parent is challenging. You have to motivate them so much. You have to encourage them so much. This experience for them, has not been the best. It just has not. A lot of times as parents, we might enjoy some of working from home, and it's easy, less traffic, and all the, things that we might see as a benefit, they do not necessarily see as a benefit. So they have to adjust to turning work online and making sure things are done timely, and being stuck in a room for hours and getting a little break. And kids are used to moving around, being sociable with their peers. They're used to the laughing and the fun with their peers, and transitioning from one class to the next, and just outdoor activities with the school, and all these things that they're not able to experience right now. And so if we do not see that impact, then, we're just not paying attention. So there's a lot that we are dealing with, even as our children are dealing with, and that is the balance. We have to find a balance. So a lot of times what I personally try to do, I don't get to do it all the time, but what I try to do is once I'm done with my, my work and my classes, every now and then I'll just say, let's just go get, some smoothies, or let's go get some treats, or let's just run and, get something fun, to snack or eat. Cause we're foodies here in my house. We love snacking and finding new treats and new places to try to eat or whatever. But it's just to try to bring a little joy in the midst of all this. That's my form of balance. And I just found myself doing it. I found myself being really tired and exhausted from the day. And once I was done with my night class, I would just say, let's go, let's just go get some breath of fresh air. And while we're out, let's get some treats. Let's have fun. Let's turn this moment into something fun. So we don't go to bed with the thought of feeling overwhelmed and feeling frustrated from having to sit and stare at computers for hours. Okay. Especially for those who are not used to doing that. Children are not used to doing that. And so it's very difficult. And even adults have a challenge in doing that all the time. So it's about finding balance. It's about making sure that you are taking care of your needs, your personal needs, our responsibilities. I always talk about balance, but today I just felt a little bit more compelled to share about the balance of life, knowing that we right now have so many responsibilities, and then when we hear more stories of individuals who are getting sick from COVID-19, it just brings even more concern for us and our responsibility for our household to make sure that everyone is safe, everyone is practicing the necessary precautions to make sure that they're not exposing themselves, and therefore will be exposing you to this very horrible infection. So once again, me having children, I understand that, having kids who want to interact with other kids and want to be sociable, and you feel kind of bad because you want a child to continue to be sociable with their peers, and they get tired of just being online with them, playing games online. They want to interact. They want to talk and play and just face to face. And so it's a challenging time. It's a challenging time for all of us. And so once again, it's just finding the balance, being able to introduce things into your households that will help, kind of make this a little bit more smooth or a little bit more adjustable. The best way you can for your household. Us just going out and getting little things every now and then in the midst of all this for snacks and treats and all that. That's just one of the things. We do other things. And I just share this to just give you ideas. We put together some quizzes, questions, and we project them on our screen, on our television screen, and we would do trivia, just interacting with each other as a family. But once again, it's balanced because now we're all doing something together that's fun and it's interactive and everybody can participate. Now, we're good for our karaoke. We always try to throw karaoke in there every now and then and just have a good, evening of fun in that manner. But we just try different things. We look for different games to try to challenge ourselves. We've done, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the show Face Off. When you create a character, they create characters with people. We've even done that before where we just, take like makeup and different effects and put it on a person, and somebody has to judge to see who did the best job. We've actually been thinking about doing bake-offs and different things. Just my point is we're trying to find a balance, and you have to find a balance in your life. You have to. especially during these times. You have to find a balance, what's good for you. And this balance, because of what we're going through as a society, as a community, it has to be healthy. So you don't want to necessarily go and expose yourself to, COVID-19. You don't want to put anybody in jeopardy. You don't want to put yourself in jeopardy or your family. So you want to practice all the steps that is going to keep you safe and healthy. So you have to be creative. You have to be creative. And making sure that you are trying at least to be safe and just still find balance. So you still have to work, because you still have to provide. You still have to, your children still have to go to school. So, they still have to do this. And life did not stop because of COVID-19. Our bills are still due. There's still things that we have to do and function during this particular time. So you have to find the balance. Whatever balance works for you, do that. If you are an individual who lives alone, and that has been challenging, we talked about that before. Individuals who do not have a house full of people, and they found this time to be very challenging, very difficult, and they can feel very lonely. So then what do? Then you begin to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You make sure that you are putting into practice anything that makes you feel good. It might be long bubble baths, long showers, doing your own manicure, pedicures. It might be reading a book that you put off forever. It might be sitting up and deciding to just watch a show that you put off for a long time. It whatever it is, it might be a creative plan. It might be that you wanted to paint, never painted before. So you go buy you some canvas and some paint and begin to let that artist come out. I mean, it's about balance. It's about you finding something that you have a passion for, you can enjoy, have fun with in the midst of this pandemic, in the midst of this chaos. Because we are being pulled everywhere and all over the place. So we need to make sure that we are finding a balance in the midst of it. So look, I did not want to keep you long. I did not want to take up a lot of your time, but I thought this would be helpful today, just to share a little bit of things that we do in our house to kind of bring the balance, and we're very intentional about it. To be honest, my youngest child is very, very, very intentional about it. She always brings up ideas that she wants to do. And I appreciate that. She reminds me of myself when I was younger. I was sort of that type of child as well. So, but to get those creative juices flowing, and so I've been seeing families on social media who, have been very creative during these times. But I don't want you to stop that. I don't want you to, because they've opened up certain places, to stop being creative. Continue to be creative with yourself, with your family that lives with you, or even looking when we have invited to different virtual parties. People are doing a lot of virtual parties, and they can be really quite fun. And I enjoy them. I've been a participant to a couple of Zoom parties, and they're really fun. So do not allow yourself to get overwhelmed and stressed out by all of the responsibilities that you have and all the things that are pulling on you. Find a balance. Begin to practice putting things in its proper place, in its proper priority. Make sure that you are praying about your balance and, asking God to help you, as I do, to help to make sure that you are practicing a balance in your life, because you don't want to be overwhelmed. You don't want to be stressed out, and you don't want to slack either. You don't want to allow these months to go past and you haven't been productive in anything. So this is the balance. Some people have just been, laying around and not being productive. So I don't encourage that at all. I definitely believe in being productive, because our time on this earth is so limited. And let me just, before I close, I would really be upset with myself if I did not acknowledge the passing of Black Panther Chadwick, I would be very upset with myself if I did not identify in regards to the passing of his life here on earth. Let me just say, to hear an individual who was suffering from 2016 to 2020 with colon cancer and see his work ethic. He produced more in the time frame of him being sick than some of us have done our entire lives. Come on, let's be honest. In 4 years, he produced more than we've done in our entire lives. And to be able to do that with such integrity, such class, speaks volumes to me. And it should to you as well. Because for people to be right next to him working and not know what he was going through is absolutely mind-blowing to me. It's absolutely mind-blowing that he was able to show such strength and such class and character that no one would have even known. No one would have known. I mean, that's just, it's amazing to me. Shows so much about his character. Shows so much about the man that he was. And we are all so fortunate and blessed to be able to see his work. I love his movies. Absolutely love his movies. I always felt like he was such an awesome actor. And I definitely noticed the movies that he portrayed in. Like, I always noticed the pattern. There were always movies with substance. I mean, all of them. And so he was very careful, and you can see that it's not something that someone had to tell you. If you watched him, you knew his story, that the stories that he chose all had character. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that. I wanted to acknowledge that today. And, I send my prayers to his family and his loved ones, because, I understand the loss of family. And the fact of him being so young, it affects me, being that I'm, within that bracket. So it's very, close to home in that way. And so just make sure, you guys, that you look at his life. Take a look at that. Take a look at the integrity. Take a look at a person who didn't go around complaining. He didn't complain. He was visiting children who were suffering from cancer just as he was, and no one knew. He did not get in the media and play the sob story. He did not, get in front of everybody and just regret what his life was like. He took the moments that he had and he worked them, and he produced, and he was effective. And that's my point. Let's take the time that we have and let's produce. Let's be effective with the time that we are given. I admire him. I'm being honest with you. I admire him, because I know with me, I can get a headache and everybody around me is going to know I have a headache. So I'm going to work on that, because I felt really, really, really bad about, it was just outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. It didn't affect his work. We can get a toe, a fingernail bruised at work and want to go home from work. This man was outstanding. And so I just really wanted to acknowledge that. I don't want to take up any more of your time about anything, but I just really want you to take a look at that. You talk about living a life of purpose, on purpose, which is my motto. Live a life of purpose, on purpose, is this man. This is what he did. And we were so very honored to have been able to see his work and see what God can do and how God can use someone. And it's just amazing to me. And so I salute him and his family And thank God that we were all able to see it. And I pray for his family. But I just want to say, well done. Job well done. God bless you guys. Have an outstanding day. This has been Renewed Mind Revolution Podcast with your host, Michelle Kakal. And as always, it is my honor and my pleasure to be able to share some tips and some tools with you that will assist you in becoming a better you. Remember, you can go and check out my books on Amazon.com or Barnes & Noble. And these books are entitled Faith versus Fear, Breaking Family Ties, and the new one, The Crowd. God bless you guys. I love you, but most importantly, God loves you more.